Hello voters, candidate Herdman for council. The dog lover. Hello Taylor, Gadesh and Molly and Matrix, Freedom. Hey, there's Hondo. And an update on the election. I'd be honored if you voted for me. I'm a long-term resident of Airdrie with my wife and my family. You can see, loving on Airdrie. Some situations going on in the city from your current incumbent mayor and council that are running again is the $100 million City Hall. Don't forget about that deal back in September 2016. They tried to put it in without even having any bylaw readings or voting or major public visioning to the city. They got caught by a real estate and a business group, and they tried to restructure, but I think the damage is done. We definitely need a ward system so that each of the 6 councillors can really get to the bottom of your problems and bring them to city council and have democracy in action. Certainly public projects worth $100 million need to be storyboarded, visioned, a back and forth process, so it's not political. It's for the citizen, and they get the best value for taxpayers' money. Another thing that happened in October of 2016 when I declared my candidacy was the city gave $400,000 of your money to a private health club, a private company that wasn't even in existence yet or incorporated under the laws of Alberta. Certainly we need to tighten up fiscal spending on council, and the facts of the matter are that 50% of all the budget dollars in the province are blown on health care. More prescriptions, more hospitals, more this, more that won't make us live longer. We got to spend the money wisely. So the city wants to become healthcare managers and prescription writers by giving $400,000 to a new health club. And they don't know where they're going. They haven't done the public visioning, the Airdrie Health Co-op themselves. So $400,000 worth of our taxpayers' money on a venture that should be owned and managed by the Alberta Health Services. They're the experts, in the province. Certainly not Mayor Brown and the current council, no matter what they want to hoodwink you on. But I've been attending the city council for 8 years, raising issues, and certainly there's democracy at question period certainly has to be addressed, as well as how the city communicates its decisions to you. Currently, the Municipal Government Act only requires a decision, any decision that your city makes, be made public in one of the local Airdrie newspapers. Now, 4% of the people only read print media today. In this beautiful province of Alberta, there's 24,000 people that pay taxes on homes. Why couldn't we have an app on the phone and an email address letting you know about decisions? You could opt in or out, but certainly they'd keep you in the loop. There's been no low-income housing built in this province in 10 years, none. And with the highest rate of domestic violence in the province of Alberta, I think the social welfare file is caught up to Mayor Brown and company in his 8 years. Certainly, we have a lot to be proud of, but leaving the needs of the poor and certainly the collapsing middle class from, jobs and calamity, leaving them to totally fend for themselves. Adequate planning over 10 years with 100 units per year would have had 1,000 low-income housing units for our citizens. But that's on our wish list. But go to the video on YouTube, www.youtube.com, and just put in the tag words Airdrie rape. Very, very powerful words, but the city needs to start looking after all of the problems that develop, not just a select few. And there's 80% of the social welfare business is done by nonprofit corporations in the city, and we need a different communication style to get those things working a little more effectively. Better communication. It shouldn't take 10 years to get a midnight shift of docs and medics at the urgent care. We finally got it done, but that was a no-brainer. And we're going to add 40,000 residents in the city. No plan for roads, no plan for the services that they need. And so it's incumbent that we get a ward system in the city so that I think the nepotism can be reduced, the communication can be increased, and we can solve more of the city's problems faster, better, sooner. Vote Herdman for council. Loving on the city. And hey, the mental illness file in the city, not happening, but we can use our animals in a therapeutic fashion. I do. I've had mental illness for 20 years, and I'm a public speaker, I'm a communicator, homeowner, and a visionary, and definitely a great debater. So let's participate in the election. Let's get out to vote. Consider me one of your counselors in that voting decision. Airdrie, vote Herdman. Thank you, voters. Thank you, horses. And thank you, dogs. Wow. This glorious land of Alberta. I'm just sitting 5 minutes from Airdrie. We can solve the domestic violence by getting some low-income housing as a start to help those victims. We need to help the 56 caregivers tasked with the onerous side of domestic violence. But we need to love on them too and make them feel welcome in the city. Next edition of Herdman Media from Airdrie, Alberta. Thank you, voters.